Imagine this. You wake up one morning and the ocean tastes different. The waves crash as they always have. The horizon glows gold with the rising sun. But something impossible has happened. The salt is gone. Every sea, every ocean, every stretch of blue across the planet has turned to fresh water. It looks the same, it moves the same, but it isn't, because the moment the salt vanishes, the fragile balance that sustains life on Earth begins to unravel. This is not a miracle, it's a collapse, and it begins now. Salt water covers more than 2/3 of our planet. It shapes our weather, nourishes ecosystems, and holds the chemistry of life itself. It is not just water. It's a machine of minerals in motion, a vast engine of balance that has run for billions of years. Without salt, that engine breaks. Sea salt, mainly sodium chloride but also magnesium, calcium, potassium, and trace elements, makes up about 3.5% of the ocean's mass. That small fraction determines everything. It controls how water freezes. It drives the great ocean currents that transport heat across the planet. It stabilizes the pressure inside living cells. It gives the ocean its weight, its structure, its power. Now imagine all of it gone. Instantly. The oceans, once dense and heavy, are suddenly light and thin. It seems harmless at first. You could drink it. You could swim without feeling the sting of salt. But deep beneath the surface, catastrophe is already spreading. Marine life begins to die. Every fish, every coral, every microorganism has evolved in salt water. Their bodies are built to survive in a precise salinity. Without it, osmotic pressure forces water into their cells. They swell. They burst. Billions of living things die within hours. Coral reefs collapse into bone-white wastelands. Crustaceans dissolve. Jellyfish drift lifelessly through the water. Whales, deprived of their plankton food source, starve. The ocean floor falls silent. Salt does not just sustain life, it sustains motion. When it disappears, the differences in water density that drive global currents disappear too. The Gulf Stream stops flowing. The Antarctic circumpolar current weakens. The global conveyor belt that circulates heat between equator and poles halts. Weather begins to warp. The equator overheats. The poles freeze harder than before. Regions once mild grow wild. Storms that depend on warm saline waters fade, while new and unpredictable systems rise in their place. The planet's natural climate control shuts down. Europe, once warmed by the Atlantic's flow, is plunged into a permanent chill. The tropics blister under relentless heat. Monsoon systems collapse, crops wither, and as the world's weather fractures, the ocean itself begins to transform. Fresh water freezes more easily than salt water. At the poles, freezing accelerates. The ice caps expand. Sea levels rise briefly from melted glaciers, then fall again as water locks into thick ice. The ocean that once defined our blue planet begins to disappear beneath its own frozen surface. Rainfall patterns shift. The air dries. Deserts spread. A world filled with fresh water becomes one of drought. Salt also plays a hidden role in our sky. Tiny salt particles from ocean spray help form clouds, scattering sunlight and regulating temperature. Without them, the air grows strangely clear. Clouds form less easily. Rain becomes rare and erratic. The rhythm of life, the slow breathing of planet and atmosphere, falters. Human civilization feels the shock within days. Global trade halts as ships fail to navigate new ocean densities. Ports fall quiet. Fishing industries vanish. Economies built on the sea collapse. Millions who depend on the ocean for food face hunger. The loss of salt also changes chemistry itself. The ocean once absorbed 1/3 of all carbon dioxide produced by humanity. Now, with its chemistry broken, it stops. Carbon builds in the atmosphere. Temperatures rise faster than ever. The planet swings wildly between fire and ice. Could such a thing ever happen? Could salt vanish from the sea? Not naturally, not easily. Salt is the memory of the planet's past. It comes from the slow erosion of rocks washed by rain, carried by rivers gathered for billions of years. It is Earth's geological heartbeat, stored in the ocean's depths. To remove it would require forces beyond nature itself. But imagine if we found a way. A global desalination experiment gone wrong. A chemical process that binds sodium and chlorine into solids, dropping them to the seafloor. A sudden cosmic event that changes molecular bonds. For a moment, the seas would sparkle clearer than ever before. They would look pure, almost holy. And then they would die, because salt is not poison. It is life. Every creature on Earth, including us, carries the memory of the ocean in its blood. Our tears, our sweat, our cells, all trace their chemistry to ancient seas. We are built from salt water. If the oceans lost their salt, we would lose part of ourselves. Human survival would falter in subtle ways. Crops would suffer mineral starvation. Soils would lose essential nutrients. Fresh water too pure would weaken ecosystems that rely on trace minerals to thrive. Malnutrition would spread. Health would deteriorate. A planet of fresh oceans would be a planet of fragile life. Centuries later, if any life remained, it would be unrecognizable. New species might evolve to thrive in mineral-poor environments. Perhaps creatures able to create their own salt internally. Perhaps new forms of microscopic life that feed on rock directly. Life would continue, but it would be alien. The Earth would look the same from space, blue and beautiful. But beneath that blue would be silence. No reefs, no whales, no shimmer of living motion. Only water and ice, lifeless and still. Salt water is not a curse of the sea. It is the reason the sea breathes. It is the key to balance, to circulation, to the long pulse of life that has endured for eons. To lose it would be to erase the memory of our planet itself. So imagine standing at the edge of this new ocean, clear, calm, drinkable, and realizing it no longer carries life. Imagine knowing that purity has cost us everything, and then ask yourself, if something as simple as salt can hold together the heartbeat of a planet, what other hidden elements are holding together the fragile miracle we call